Hi YouTube, Elkhart Prepper here. Working on another trap today. Had to work on the notching a little bit more so I could actually share this with you. That's what all this little bits of wood and stuff is all over my fleece blanket here. What we're doing is we're setting up a trigger trap that will work really well for basket type bird trap or squirrel trap. Probably a smaller rodent like a squirrel or whatnot. What we're dealing with is, what we're needing here is hand saw. You can use a multi-tool saw, and then pocket knife or any kind of knife that you want. Your multi-tool typically will have some sort of a knife on it as well. That will work just fine. That's why I like carrying my multi-tool in the woods with me. It's got everything you need. Get your pocket knife. But you're going to start with a piece of wood that you find on the ground or in a tree. It doesn't matter if it's green or dried, dead, hardwood. You want something solid and not rotten. Green would work just as easily as a dried, non-rotten hardwood. You're going to cut off a piece about 8 inches long. You can 8 to 10 inches, however tall you want your trap to sit up off the ground. I set mine at 8 inches, the span of my fingers here, about 8 inches. Cut that in half, and then you're going to just notch out opposite notches for your stake to act as if it hadn't been cut at all when the weight of the trap is sitting on it, as we saw at the beginning of the video. And then also you're going to need a piece of cordage. Now, you would run your cordage from the back. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, okay. You would run your cordage from the back of the trap, and if you were doing like a bird trap that you made in nature, a Navajo bird trap or something like that, you just tie it to the corners of the trap, or if you're using a tote like this, just run the cordage back to that end, and then you're going to have this portion left over. And this is where you're going to attach your trap to your stake. It doesn't have to be tied at all. You can see that I just simply wound mine right in there. I just lay it in, turn it over, and then stand it up. And now it's actually exactly how I need it, and it's adjustable. I haven't tied off this last bit of the cord yet because I don't know the exact distance that I'm going to need as far as my cordage. I rest the other portion of the stake on top, as notched in as I described earlier, and then that is what your basket trap is going to rest on. And come straight down on it. You got your cordage here. That's pretty good. Tighten that up. Now here's where it gets tricky. You're going to have to set this stake so that it will support the weight of the basket, but also be hair triggery enough. It will be a hairy enough trigger that it's almost too hairy, that when your varmint, your bird or your squirrel or whatever it is that you're trying to trap with this basket trap, will be able to come in, knock the two pieces of rope either side, will set this trap. Okay? Now, that looks real good right there. Now obviously you've got extra tag end of your cord. You would tie that off and then reset your trap. But for the sake of illustrating, what we're doing here is we would set some type of a food attractant inside here, or even smear fruit juice, or if the trap was heavy enough and you were going after squirrel or even a heavier setup, you could get you a small possum, raccoon, or something of that nature. You just would really need a very heavy trap to catch something like a squirrel, rabbit, or possum or raccoon. Anything bigger than those things in this smaller style of trap would just knock the trap over and get away. Now you could weight this so that it would be heavy enough to trap your target animal. Like if you're trying to trap a 10-pound raccoon, then you need about 5 to 10 times its weight. 10 times is a safe bet. Most animals in nature are not going to be able to get away from something that's 10 times its weight. But if you're trying to trap a 10-pound raccoon, then you would need a 50 to 100-pound weight. So you can see, trying to trap a squirrel or a rabbit, you would need something to weigh 10 or 15, 20 pounds just to contain that rascal. So these traps are set up more for things like birds, chipmunks, little ground squirrels, things like that. Rodents, rats, mice, anything that's going to come in here, be attracted to that food source. And now bear in mind, I didn't tighten this up, but I'm just showing you, so I'll show you from the other side. You've got a bait source inside of here, or you've smeared this rope with something that little varmint's going to come in there, and he's actually going to pull on that rope, and it's going to set your trap. Very, very effective way to catch wildlife in nature. So it's just a V with your cordage wrapped into your trigger. Your notching is very simple. It doesn't really get any more basic than this. That breaks and that falls. Depending on how much weight you got will determine on what type of animal you could actually catch with a basket. Well, I hope you learned something today. Very simple trapping methods to sustain yourself with protein sources in the wild. Again, target probably no bigger than a squirrel with something like this, and a squirrel might even get out of that. It's hard to say. But birds easily trapped, and mice or even a rat, you could trap those very simply, and at least you're eating something that day. So this is Elkhart Prepper saying thanks for watching my videos. If you liked it, click like. If you're interested in what I'm doing, the information I'm sharing, share it with your friends, and feel free to subscribe. Appreciate it. Have a great day.